What is going on? My name is Chris Colgan. I am a real estate agent here in the state of Virginia. And as someone who has grown up with a family having a house in Lake Anna, Virginia, I know everything there is to know about living at the lake. So in this week's video, we're going to talk about all the pros and cons of living in Lake Anna, Virginia. All right, guys, thanks again for watching my video. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Chris Colgan. I'm a realtor here in the state of Virginia. I sell houses pretty much wherever in Virginia, definitely down at Lake Anna. And in this week's video, I'm gonna talk about Lake Anna, Virginia and the pros and cons, whether you're looking to buy a vacation home there to rent out, or you're looking to live there permanently, the pros and cons of living at Lake Anna, Virginia. So let's talk a little bit about the lake so you know everything there is to know about it. It is the largest freshwater lake or inland in the state of Virginia, and it covers 13,000 acres, and it was actually built around 1968. What ended up happening was Dominion, it was called Virginia Electric at the time, bought over 18,000 acres of farmland along the North Anna rivers, and they needed to provide some fresh water to cool their nuclear power plant they were going to be building. And they actually had dug it all up, and they figured it would take a couple years to get the lake filled, to get the power plant up and running. And believe it or not, there was a huge hurricane called Hurricane Agnes. My family grew up in Manassas, and I remember hearing them tell stories about Manassas being flooded, but it actually sped up the process and caused the lake to fill up faster. So that's why the lake is there. And actually Hurricane Agnes sped up the whole process by 18 months. And so the first houses were built around like the late 70s to early 80s. I actually used to hear some funny stories of land being sold right on the lake for dirt cheap around that time. So the lake is actually 17 miles long from the one end to the other. And there's two sides. There's actually a private side, which is the warm side where the water comes through, the cold side, which the public side goes outside the reactors to cool them off, and goes through the other side of the private side. That side I haven't been over too much. I've sold some houses over there. The private side is 4,000 acres and the public side is 9,000 acres. And so the private side doesn't have any public access, but the public side does. That's usually where my family's houses have been that we've had in the past and the one we currently have. So that's kind of everything you need to know about Lake Anna, just right off the bat. And one of the funnier things about Lake Anna is some of the people that live on our street live in Pennsylvania to New York, and they drive to the lake for the summers. And then there's been plenty of people have sold their houses that they've lived in Lake Anna all their life, or they live there year round. Some of them even commute to Northern Virginia, which is crazy. But anyways, let's talk about the pros of living at Lake Anna, Virginia. Number one, the most obvious pro is going to be you live at a beautiful lake and you're right on the water, and you get to do, jet ski, boat, canoes, whatever you want, during the summertime, obviously, not the winter. But amazingly, there's not much stuff like this in the state of Virginia or on the East Coast. So you get to live on this beautiful lake, have the lake lifestyle, ride the boats on the weekends or even during the week when things are a little bit slower. So that is definitely one of the pros. Just having that lake lifestyle is simply amazing. I love going down on the weekends and just chilling. I even go sometimes down during the winter and I stay for a week. The lake lifestyle is super rare. Also, some of the houses here are just simply amazing. They're right on the water. You have your own boathouse, your own dock. There's even condos and there's townhouses as well. So plenty of different housing options. Now, if you're looking to buy a house right on the water, that's going to cost you anywhere from $800,000 all the way up to several $1 million. You can also get some houses off the water or townhouses off the water with a boat slip. That'll run you like $500,000 or more, to even condos I've seen right on the water for around $250,000 to $300,000. So you don't really have to spend the crazy amount of money. And if you are thinking about buying a house at Lake Anna, definitely text me at the number below, and I can love to be your agent of choice for that. Another pro is it's a great central location into Virginia. You're close to Culpeper, Charlottesville, Fredericksburg, even Richmond. And then about 90 minutes north, you can head back towards Northern Virginia. And if you're brave enough to make that commute up to Northern Virginia, that is definitely a good thing. So the great central location of Virginia, just an absolutely beautiful place. And there's not many places around here, especially outside the Washington, D.C. area, we can have a nice, huge lake like this to take a boat and go jet skiing, like I said, wakeboarding, pretty much everything what my family does a lot. So definitely those those are the main pros. Another thing I will say is I love the local people there, the restaurants and everything like Tim's and all that. There's some great stuff to choose from there. So those are definitely my pros about living at the lake. Now let's get into the cons, which I hate to talk about, but let's get into that. Obviously, the biggest con is you live by a nuclear power plant. Now, I have never heard of any issues about that power plant. Believe it or not, I was actually in Lake Anna at my family's house at the time of that earthquake that hit Mineral several years ago, and that's actually where the power plant was. And I started freaking out, as you can imagine, being close to a power plant during an earthquake, but nothing happened. You know, no damage was done anywhere. I think they might have shut down the reactors for a little while and they're back up and running. I believe there's 2 reactors, but again, you do live close to a power plant, so that can be a huge negative. Now, believe it or not, I had never really heard that be a negative when I've sold houses. Most people know it, they don't really care. They don't really even think about it, but that is a huge negative. Another thing is there can be limited high-speed internet, especially if you're doing a lot of Zoom meetings or working from home, like my family's house. Their neighborhood did actually just get high-speed internet, and that really changed our life because when we go down there, we're able to work a lot more easier, get things done, hop on Zoom meetings, watch Netflix. So make sure if you're looking that the area does have high-speed internet or it's coming to the area. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck using one of those cell phone things or satellite internet. Another con, which drives my mom insane, she's like a big, you know, I want to be close to everything, like a Starbucks or shopping. There just is not much of that yet. I think eventually there will be, but if you want to do something like go to a movie or go to a Starbucks or even like a Dunkin' Donuts, you're going to have to go more towards Fredericksburg or even Culpeper. And now the town of Mineral and Louisa do have different places to shop, and there's certainly a Food Line and different shopping centers down there. I know they're building a big marina as well, but there's just limited shopping and restaurant options. The restaurants are like the Cove and all that. They are great restaurants, really great people run them, plenty of local restaurants, but there's just not that Starbucks type feel. If that's what you're looking for, but most people that go to the lake, they don't really care about that too much. They just like the convenience of the lake and getting away from the big city life towards DC and all that. Another con, my last but not least con, is the lake honestly has gotten very crowded and can be somewhat dangerous. I know a game warden, he was telling me recently one of the corners there at the lake is the most dangerous water-based corner or area in all of Virginia. There's sometimes you get out there and you see some, lack of a better term, idiot in a boat that should be, you know, down in Miami or the Bahamas, and they're doing 90 through Lake Anna, and you're like, what the heck are you doing? You know, with that huge loud boat. You see some of that, or you see some people who don't really know the rules and they're out in a paddleboard in the middle of the lake and about to get themselves killed, God forbid. So it can be definitely crowded during the season. I think it could get a little bit worse as they build more housing down there, and like the marina and all that coming in. So that can definitely be a con. But you got to remember though, that's usually just during the weekends or holiday weekends. During the winter and spring, early spring and fall, you don't see that as much, but you see a lot of fishing going on and all that. And that's another pro. If you're into fishing and all that, the fishing there is great. Not something I do because I'm usually out selling real estate. I'd love to get into fishing, but I don't see myself getting into that and sitting there. I have no patience. But these are my pros and cons of living at Lake Anna, Virginia. Definitely subscribe to this channel where we talk about all things living in the state of Virginia, Lake Anna, Northern Virginia, to anywhere pretty much up and down Virginia, coast to coast. So subscribe, comment below, and if you're thinking about buying or selling a house in Lake Anna, definitely hit me up. And as always, I will see you at the top or from the top of Lake Anna, which there really isn't a top, but whatever, you get the point.